Hi everyone. Hi Bernard. Hi Rebecca.
Hi.
Yes. Nice to have you back with us, Rebecca. We've missed you. Yes. Mr. John will join us in 5 minutes. Finally, we had Starlink work right now. Uh, Spencer did it. He controlled like the RoboDog in Limos using the software. I don't recall the name of it, but it's a simple software. He just download the application and he actually right now controlled the RoboDog. And most of the materials for CAIPO are on the way. So soon, I think soon, we can have a product. We can have CAIPO and we can control the RoboDog. I'm not sure why I'm saying those, but I'll just give you like the updates about what we have right now with the company.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. I think we can wait until Mr. John joins us, and then we can start. Well, I think I will leave you after 20 minutes because I have an urgent meeting also regarding the workflow now. The automation team needs something started, so yeah.
Hey Pranad, hey Mohammed. Sorry guys. Mohammed, I know you gotta go soon, right?
Yes, Mr. John.
Um, yeah, Pranad, are you here? So Rebecca's here also. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
All right, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Nice to see you. How's the weather in California?
Um, it's okay. It's not too hot and not too cold.
Okay, so you're not participating in the heat wave.
No.
You're in LA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That would probably be kind of warm in LA. But the rest of the world is getting it, it looks like. But you get fires.
Yeah.
Just fires in LA,
Uh,
fires and homeless people everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I was in LA. It's like, man, there's homeless people everywhere. I mean, it's kind of like you don't want to walk on the street. There's so many homeless people around, or just like even in Hollywood, like
Mm.
Austin is kind of getting a little bit like that, but yeah, we're camping out. Mohammed, you ought to see in the States, like in Austin and LA places, homeless people, they got tents set up downtown on the street. You're walking by. It's crazy.
Judgment Day. Yes.
What?
The Judgment Day, like the people, no houses, fires all the way, like, oh my God, the end of the world.
Yeah, yeah. It's I don't think in Cairo, in Egypt, you don't have that many homeless people.
No, actually, Mr. John, I think we don't have homeless people here. Maybe
Yeah,
we have a little people, but I think in the majority, no, we don't have homeless people. And this is what you're gonna like about Egypt. Everyone has his place. Maybe the prices are high a little bit, not a little bit. I'm gonna be like straight. The prices are very high today's, but yeah, no one is homeless with Egypt. Yeah,
yeah,
I believe.
yeah, yeah. When I was in China, it was like that was the one thing that really like there's no homeless people anywhere in China. You could go out 24/7, 3 in the morning, any part of town. I was doing a lot of walking when I was there. And yeah, it's it's that's one of the good things compared to the US. Once if you go to the US, Mohammed, you'll see it's not that you know there's better
Yes,
there's
Mr. Jamal, I
better
know.
places to
One
live
day,
than the
hopefully one
US.
day,
Yeah.
hopefully one day
Y-
I can visit USA. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, we got our good places too in the States. But uh so
Oh.
Pranad, where is Pranad?
He said something with the general chat, like he said, I'll join the meeting, I will just take a rest. Hopefully he didn't sleep while he was in the meeting.
Okay, maybe we can send him a message on and ping him in case he doesn't forget about us. Can you send him a direct message and just message him and tag him just so he can have as what do we need to talk about kind of yeah, I guess the stuff that we're working on, the next steps and the presentation that he did on Sunday. Um,
And by the way, when I visit USA, if I want to visit a place, actually, I don't know how to say it, like Massachusetts. Am I said it right?
Massachusetts,
Yes. The place that you have like the MIT University there
Boston.
in Boston. Okay. And
So
where is Boston? In Texas?
Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah, okay. So Massachusetts is a state also.
Yes, it's a state
Hmm. This is the place actually I want to visit.
near New York,
I follow,
near the New York
yeah,
area.
yes. I follow a doctor from there called Annabelle. She's a computer scientist. She's a
Yeah.
professor. She's amazing. I follow her actually. I want to see her one day. Like, how can you get this mind? Like, do you use ChatGPT when you tell the people, or do you have something secret? Maybe someone telling you what to say. Like, she is amazing. I'm not sure how she get all of this information, but she's genius.
What does she do?
Computer scientist. She is a professor at MIT. Um,
Okay.
MIT have kind of courses, free courses. They published there when their platform. If anyone want to learn anything about anything, you have the same courses that a normal student have them within the college. You can just go to this platform, check, make your progress, module by module by module. So that's why I know her actually.
Mhm. Okay, good. Well, I hope you see her someday. Uh,
Okay.
if you don't see her physically, tell her, hey, can I have a Skype call with you? I mean,
I'm not
Zoom
sure,
meeting.
Mr. John. I'm Egyptian. I'm Egyptian, and we have a word here in Egypt. When you go out from Egypt, all the girls gonna like you. So I'm afraid about her husband. Maybe when you know. So yeah. Okay. Oh my
Okay.
God.
Yeah.
We have Bernard here. Hey Bernard, welcome man.
Hi, how are you guys? Sorry for a little delay. Like I knew I like joined a meeting, then I had something going on as well, so I had to make sure to take care of that.
No problemo. We're all kind
Mm.
of straggling in.
Oh, I do have
We
a
got,
quick question, John.
yeah,
I believe his name is Soren. Soren?
you run?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he
Sufyan
reached
al-Amali.
out. Yeah, he reached out saying that asking about the text content for the Space Ventures Institute website and for the Cosmos Intelligence as well. So I told him I could do it, but then I was like thinking, when it comes to the content, doesn't like the Space Venture Institute and Cosmo Intelligence have the content already?
Yeah, I think they do. They do. So I don't. Space Ventures Institute, we were supposed to go through and reconfirm and review what Theodora had done with Legal Ethics Ventures Institute. Look at that flow. Look at Space Ventures Institute. Look at that flow. Look what's the same. Look what's changed. And I want to kind of do that to make sure that because I didn't add anything. I don't think there should be anything added. And I think the last time we took a look at it, Pranad, I think you had mentioned that there was some stuff that was redundant. Uh, and we were like saying it twice. And so we talked about taking some of that stuff out. But anyway, I want to make sure that somehow we didn't, some text didn't sneak in here, or unless someone was tasked to put in, to change some wording. Uh, I want to try to make sure, because now we're going to do other venture institutes, and I want to make sure that all the venture institute sites, what are going to be the common things, and then what are we going to change um, in them, in each one of them. So otherwise, it's going to become a nightmare. And I know that for SEO, it's really best to have about 70% of the content should be unique. Right now, I think we're going to probably be doing like 70% is going to be the same and 30% might be unique. But we need to switch it. But I want to see how we can use as much of the same content and then start to think, okay, as we move forward, how do we try to make all of them a little more unique so they can have more, I guess, SEO and reach. So, but anyway, that's one of the things for Space Ventures Institute. For Cosmos Intelligence, I think everything in there is unique.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think that was pretty much that research that I did, and it was, I don't know, was there any updates from that? There's been not really any changes. All that text is
No.
there, and it all
Yeah.
sounds pretty good. Is there anything that doesn't sound good?
No, I don't think there was. I guess at that point I would just be like super nitpicky, but like the version that's there, it's really good, I would say.
Okay, well, I mean, the message there is, like what I try to communicate is, the app
hmm
and then the research aspect of it, which will be, part of it, part of TARRL. And, what astrophysicists, cosmologists, space science, um, those are the areas that, we could be recruiting for Cosmos Intelligence as far as like the research. But I guess, those people should also be interested in, an app like this. And yeah, so I think that would be a really good recruiting tool for those types of candidates. And some of those people will also be developers, and so they can also recruit people to work on the back end and stuff. So yeah, I guess Mohammed, we're going to take another kind of at this site, but the next steps as far as I mean, we're going to start working on and Pranav, that was a great presentation that you made on Sunday.
hmm
The one of the things, just from visually, you should have gone through like the design team, because we have these templates with our logo, and it would have looked really amazing, to have it on our templates that we have for the presentations. So
Oh, okay, okay.
you should look through that and look at some of the designs with Rebecca, the two of you together, and choose, a template to use, and then how to make the font kind of a little different, how do we want to portray it? But to just from a visualization standpoint, where we're making presentations, we want to get people really pumped up about it. I think people were. I think, I noticed some good reactions from people. And so, we can get a team of kind of working on kind of development, the kind of the next steps and move that forward. And so the thing that Mohammed's working on is to get Space Ventures Institute, TARRL, uh, uh, their own LLC, so we'll be able to advertise for those on Indeed, and that will make a big difference in kind of our recruitment efforts. Um, so, so we've kind of discussed that. He's working on that right now, right, Mohammed? You've met with Julia, and you're kind of
Yes, Mr. John, I met with her and we made the task. And even I sent a message to Angel, but he didn't reply back yet. So anyway, if he replied, it's gonna be a good thing. If he didn't, we are in the process to figure out to do that. And yeah, soon we're gonna do that, Mr. John. And
I think it's going to take maybe from the time you apply for it, it's going to take like set a week to actually get the LLC, maybe 14 days. But anyway, it's fairly quick. Once we pay the $30 for the DBA, so what we need to do, once you have the LLC, then it's the DBA. It was a pretty. The process was that not that complicated. There's a website that you go and you do that through the state of Texas website. You can ask Maria. Maria will know because she was also involved in creating those LLCs.
okay, Mr. John. So I need to go now actually because Basil, Mama, and also Nago, they start. We need to. I need to go. I need to go now actually. So I'm so sorry for that. And if I have any tasks, I will see the transcript of this meeting to figure out if I have any tasks, me and Rebecca. And if we have any tasks, me and Rebecca, I will try to reach out to her so we can have a meeting and discuss the things that you need. Okay, Mr. John?
Okay, okay, Mohammed. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye
See
bye
you
for
later.
now. Bye bye.
Yep, see you, Mohammed.
So, um, yeah. So, do we have a Notion page? Are you kind of using Notion Space Team for not
Yeah.
tracking tasks in there?
Yeah, even I'm looking at the one that even that Indra created. She created a new Space Buddy AI Notion page, like workspace page
Yeah.
for the app. So I've been like working a little bit with that, with Indra.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's really kind of the next step is to
Mm-hmm.
start working on that.
Okay.
And yeah, she'll kind of um, put a product roadmap together and start doing the research. And yeah, I think that's really, what we can do right now. Um, Rebecca, I think we looked at the site and you did a much, it improved quite a bit. It looked really good, what you did as far as the last site. I had asked, um, 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 Serena is who I'm thinking about. Um, Serena had done a version where kind of I sent her some information about some new images to upload. Um, So she's working kind of on a new version. Have you met with her to review the work that y'all have done?
No, I haven't. Was I supposed to meet with her?
Well, that's kind of the buddy system. It's
Oh,
supposed to be where you work on it to kind of together, and then, I mean, each can have your own version, or you work on the same version together. So, yeah, we're probably not doing a very good job implementing the buddy system. Um, but yeah, so because I want y'all to kind of work together. But mm, yeah, did you figure out what prompts to use, and because it really looked, the layout and everything, it looked really nice what you did.
thank you.
How did you uh, do that? Was it prompts? Was it using Claude Design? Was it doing something different than what you were used to doing in the past that made you create something that looked like that?
Um, I think I just like asked it to reference a website. So I asked it to reference SpaceX, and yeah, I use Claude Design.
Mhm. Mhm. Good, good. Well, we're gonna have new standards for all of our websites now. So, Pranad, um, what's your plan for the next week?
So for next week, I'm gonna talk with Indra more. She said she finished like I think she put the let me look at the Discord chat. She said she finished some like first phases in creating like few tasks on the AI page. What did she say here exactly? Yeah, that's why I've uploaded the presentation. Open document section. Yeah. Yeah, she created a PRD, a product requirements document, and another type of documentation. She said she created the first phases about what should be done, like project planning, development setup, creating a prototype file, creating a backend repository, creating a front end repository, like as the tasks. So as of right now, my goal would be, let's see what we have here. Yes, work with Indra in creating that, especially the product requirement development. I can definitely help with that. Like basically, I mean, I kind of already have with the slideshow, the architectural like breakdown, like the roadmap about what we should do. I'll probably talk with Indra more to get more of the technical side and how to actually like what should actually be done in phase one in that development in order to create that development roadmap, the PRD, and then I can talk with her about what we should do for the prototype file. The backend and front end repository will be definitely something that's more technical team can do.
Mhm. Yeah. So, uh, the competitive analysis, where are you with that?
The which analysis?
Competitive analysis?
I'm sorry, I'm lost.
The competitive analysis to look at the apps that
Oh, the
do.
competitive analysis, yes. Okay. The comparison that I've been doing, I have that as a table in Excel right now. As of right now, the only thing is like Stellarium, like they charge, right? They're an app that charges. Like I said, I think it's 2.99 or 3.99 depending on the year, the sale, like whatever it is on the App Store. But everything else is like it starts off as a free app, and I mean majority of the users are free, so they don't have ads like SkyView, the one that I use, they don't run ads. But they do have like a SkyView Pro within the app. Like if you again, like I said, subscribe for a trial for that. You have to subscribe to that monthly and pay like $2.99 a month for that. And that's the way they're making their like revenue, you can say. But outside of that, I don't think the app itself is doing much. That's what I'm trying to figure out, especially with the free apps. Um,
Well,
like Night
we
Sky.
have a notion. We have competitive analysis that has been done for different products, and we're, we're trying to have like one standard format where the competitive analysis is done the same for each, product that we have. So I think if you look and get together with Antoine, because he's been working on, that for CAIPO, but we need to understand. Yes, I mean, there's different things that we need to understand. Yes, how many users that they have, and do they have a freemium model, and what is that, and what's the cost for what they're doing. But we need to be able to have screenshots
Mm-hmm.
of the user experience. What is the user experience? So if someone gets on there and they look at the night sky and what's one user experience compared to the others, one and the other one and the other one? And which one is better? And why is it better? And what content do they have that they're pulling from? So we need to understand, that aspect specifically, because, that's what we have to like get our arms around, the user experience, what's out there today. And then, but um, yeah. But there's so to understand what content are they using, where are they sourcing their content from, um, you know, yeah, and maybe other things that, for different products, there's going to be different things that we need, but we want to really do a kind of a thorough understanding of the top, 10 apps. Is there anyone else out there that's doing kind of a space buddy, like a
Yeah, no,
space AI,
I
you
don't
know,
think so, no. Like
to learn to
like
learn
the way we were
everything?
approaching it, I don't think there is a single one. Like everyone's
Okay.
having like an AI companion, like how like we're proposing it, no. But there's like obviously like apps out there, like how I said, like you point it at something, it gives you like black and white information about it, and that's about it. But it's not really like an interactive surface where you can like talk to it and then it talks to you back.
Mhm. Okay. Well, let's kind of just keep, in every vertical, there are AI, companies, right? And
Hmm.
legal. There's dozens of legal AI companies,
Hmm.
uh, right? One of them raised $1 billion, Harvey. Um, there's data AI companies that are, they have data stuff plugged in on the back end. You can talk to your data. There's dozens of them, right? So for there's finance buddies, finance AIs that do your finance stuff, and you can, there's dozens of them that have a lot of them have gotten funding, maybe some in the hundreds of millions, maybe some like Harvey, 1 billion,
Hmm.
that are, blowing and going. Maybe it's B2B. So so yeah, so it'll be interesting if there's nothing going on in the space sector like what we're doing. Um, but you know, but yeah, it'll be. We'll just move it forward and kind of see where it goes. We need to figure out how we're going to get the content and then what it's going to look like and what someone's going to click on and what are they going to what's going to pull the content and where we're going to, you know, like Solly was saying, I mean, is there CLI or some way in MPC, MCP that you
Hmm.
could just make a call to their database and pull it? So we are not hosting all this stuff and, you know, building our own model. So we need to see technically how we're going to aggregate all this stuff without it costing us, you know, a lot, like for hosting it. Um, so yeah, and that's why, like, if we understand what are the others that are out there that are doing something similar, you know, what I mean, how are they pulling theirs, and what does it look like from a, you know, when you're looking at the visual. But um, okay, I think that sounds good. Um, yeah, if you could work on
Okay.
that as well.
Okay. Okay.
And let me see something. I think I had sent uh, something to our channel. Oh, and what's also the status of TARL?
For the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that was the other thing. Even like Søren was asking was like content for Toll. So I was like wondering like what more is needed to be added.
So
Like what
uh,
Toll, I
for,
mean,
for TARL, what we wanted was to have information. So you go to the site. It
hmm.
says um, some of the these are some of the things that you'll that Carl is going to be pursuing
Okay,
and have information on quantum and what we're going to do with quantum. Then there's going to be information on synthetic diamond, you know, on photonics. And
I
there's going to
see.
be synthetic diamond, and then there's going to be on soft robotics, and then and then there needs to be on the world model, right?
Hmm.
This is FloBrain is a world model, you know, vision, all that stuff aggregated together. So we want to put that stuff on there because we're going to be advertising TARL to PhDs and postdocs. Right? It's going to be a lot of research. That's going to be involved in that, and so we need that information so people go there and okay, good, here's some they can click and they can see more information. That's what you have been working on getting, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I already have
You
the information for like quantum, photonics, artificial muscles.
yeah, I mean you you did that with Spencer, right?
Yeah. So like I just gotta send like Søren that content to put on the Toll website then, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If you
Okay.
have the content,
Yeah.
just give it to her so she can figure out. I mean, I don't know. We're gonna have like some content,
Uh-huh.
and then like on the page, on the first page, and then we're gonna have some more, and then they're gonna click on it, and then it's gonna go because you have a lot of content on some of the stuff, don't you?
So repeat
From
that. So I have the content. So what was the second part?
Yeah. So you have a lot of content.
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to have the plan to have like content for photonics, and you're going to have a paragraph or two about photonics, and then they're going to
Yeah.
click, it's going to take them deeper to the second page.
Uh, yeah. So I have like a paragraph description about like each one. And the idea was I did the job descriptions, right? Like the long, more detailed job descriptions with Spencer. So what we can do is like we can have those like small like paragraph descriptions and then lead it to the job description when they click on it. That goes more in detail about what's required from them and what you learn from it.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Well, so that's what we need to kind of get that and then update it. And is there anything in TARL that needs to come out, or do you have any other improvements that need to be made there?
I have no other suggestions.
Okay. Okay. So I'll take a look at that. I mean, as long as you get that content, and
I'll
then we
get
can
that
start
content.
doing that.
Okay.
And let me just let me send some links. So I want to kind of share my screen and take a few minutes to go through some of this stuff. I don't know if you have time to. Uh,
in a ripple passing a really new way of observing the universe, and it's not with light, because what we've detected is waves in actual space. That is the stretching and compression of space itself in a ripple passing by us. And as soon as we turned on the detector, we saw the merge of two black holes. Scientists have been dreaming of this for a long time. Einstein first proposed his theory of general relativity over 100 years ago, stating that gravity is really just the curvature of space and time, or space-time. In other words, a huge mass like a star curves space and time like this ball placed on a sheet. And if mass could bend space, then accelerating or moving masses could send out ripples in the sheet, and we call those gravitational waves. Einstein came up with all the math to describe this over 100 years ago. Then, nearly 75 years later, in 1992, scientists founded LIGO, the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, to search for these waves. But it wasn't until 2015 that gravitational waves were finally detected from the event where two black holes, about 30 times the mass of the Sun, collided, sending out shockwaves that reached us 1.3 billion years later. The technology had to come so far for this to be possible. Check it out. In the LIGO detector, you've got two vacuum tunnel arms with lasers that go back and forth, reflecting off of mirrors on the other end. Depending on the distance those laser beams travel after reflecting off the mirrors, when they meet back up again, you get interference, like waves that interfere in water making patterns. If space is stretched or squeezed in one of these directions by passing gravitational waves, the laser beams in that arm will travel for more or less time, affecting how the two beams interfere when they meet back up, and we can tell space has been stretched. But this detector has to be so sensitive, it's affected by quantum mechanical vibrations in the mirrors. So sensitive, it was picking up vibrations from trucks driving on roads nearby. But scientists found ways to cut out that noise, and in addition, there are two labs, one in Louisiana and one in Washington, making sure that the signal detected wasn't from something local. That moment when those two detections matched up perfectly was the goosebumps moment when scientists realized we had heard a true signal. Scientists have been using the term heard, which I think helps set the technology apart from anything we've ever done, usually with light. But the waves don't actually make a sound because sound doesn't travel through empty space. But scientists did take the waveform and turn it into a sound waveform to make the chirp heard around the world. But the way this chirp affects us is not immediately obvious to all. I mean, as little as you might follow biology or anthropology, It's easier to see the importance or excitement in finding the first hominid skeleton or finally sequencing the entire human genome because it opens doors. The observation of gravitational waves in and of itself is exciting, but these waves have hypothetically been passing through the universe since way before humans existed, and we've never known. For sure. It's like being deaf your entire life and finally able to hear for the first time. That's what we've done for gravity. That's what we've done for the field of astronomy, and we can look out at the universe with an entirely new metaphorical lens, and at extreme violent events, and at objects that we know very little about, like black holes. Plus, the technology is the most precise instrument ever developed. It's improved cryogenics, optics, and made contributions to a number of other fields. And who can forget that, though Einstein was ironically uninterested in the applications of his theory of relativity, we rely very heavily on it for the multi-billion-dollar industry surrounding GPS. And lastly, I'm going to venture so far as to say that we should care because it's relevant. It's just cool. If physics no longer had any practical applications, we'd probably still keep doing it because we are curious. We want to know about our world. This is how the universe works. The same universe that works in such a way that it's possible for you and me to exist. Space-time is the landscape in which we live, and we've just created a new way to understand it. Thank you for watching this episode of Physics Girl, and happy physicsing. Scientists just invented an entire...
So I like that because, it was like, just kind of the learning, right? And kind of like how that, what we can learn from like influencers and these clips that, really makes learning interesting.
To come in and through a process to hide the clean room here at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, because behind me there, that is the Nancy Grace Roman telescope. This is truly the newest and greatest telescope ever built for deep space. But I first want to tell you why we're all wearing these bunny suits. The tiniest skin cell or hair fiber that could get inside the telescope could really mess up, right? The mirrors or the optics. And so they are very careful. Anybody who comes in here working on this telescope, and they've been working on it for 10 years, needs to come in and through a process to blow off all the dust, all the dirt, and wear these suits that are meant to make sure that nothing endangers the telescope. As for the telescope itself, boy, it's just going to be a game changer, revolutionizing, really blowing our minds about the universe. Because you know about Hubble, right? It launched in the early 1990s. The Nancy Grace Roman telescope will have a field of vision 100 times greater than Hubble. So we're talking about getting a vision that scientists have never had. Thousands of planets, millions of galaxies, billions with a B of stars that we don't know about. That's what this telescope is going to bring. And while data from Hubble to capture would take hundreds of years to transmit that kind of data down to Earth, we'll get it from the Nancy Grace Roman telescope in a matter of days, weeks, months as it transmits down. They're going to create a 3D map of the universe here and allowing scientists to see really the history of the universe, how it has changed, how it has grown over time. All of that coming from this incredible telescope that is going to be launching from the Kennedy Space Center, and we're going to take you inside that operation. Welcome inside the clean room here at NASA's Goddard Space.
Huge.
Yeah,
That is like,
that's definitely huge.
we need that content, right? We need to get that content. It's going up in August, right? It's right around the corner.
Add to that, SpaceX recent Artemis mission around the moon captured the world's attention. Add to that, SpaceX IPO, and all eyes are on the moon and stars. There's talk of putting data centers for AI in orbit and of sending humans to Mars. But what will it take to make these ambitions a reality? Well, there's one woman who's working on just that. Ariel Ekblad is a space architect who is working on the technology to make space dreams into reality. She is the founding CEO of the Aurelia Institute. She joins me now. Pleasure to have you on. You really are almost uniquely qualified to talk about this because you have a PhD in aerospace engineering, you were a physics major, you started this non-profit and for-profit to do architecture in space. The question everyone has, I think, is what are we going to learn from going to space that's going to help us here? Or is this just an adventure?
This is a wonderful point to think about for the future of space infrastructure. Can we actually build really big scale structures in space for the public good? So what are people on Earth going to get out of it, even before we think about your lifestyle that you might have in space? One of the things that we're working on at Aurelia Institute is the idea of an orbital biolab. So a really large-scale structure, way bigger than you could fit in your biggest rocket, that does microgravity research. So this is basically looking at biology when it's floating in orbit, really profoundly different behavior than what you get on the ground. And there's amazing potential for cancer and Alzheimer's drug treatment discovery, new types of protein crystallization, and maybe even prosthetics like artificial retinas manufactured in space.
I've always thought that manufacturing of a certain kind could be more easily done in space.
Yes.
It's less environmentally bad. You don't have to be done, obviously, by robots and things like that.
Right.
How much of that is a pipe dream? How much of it could actually happen?
This is actually also one of my favorite, I think, promises for the space industry. When you're floating, you get much more pure crystals. And so there's manufacturing in the biology domain. There's also manufacturing for fiber optic cable. When you're floating, you don't have any gravity, or you're not experiencing gravity, so you could do an infinitely long extruded beam and start to build and manufacture really incredible structures in space that you cannot make on Earth. And so that's absolutely something that our ecosystem, kind of between Aurelia Institute, the nonprofit side where we do the research, and Rendezvous Robotics, where we do the actual scaling up of the space infrastructure, this is definitely a domain that we're actively working on, is in-space manufacturing and construction kind of writ large.
So how much of this is, science fiction, and how much of it is, this is a reasonable prospect that 5 to 7 years from now, some of this stuff will actually be happening?
This is the really amazing inflection point that we have, partly thanks to the drop in launch costs, really dramatic drop in cost to get to space.
Because of SpaceX.
Because of SpaceX, right? With Starship, it's anticipated that the cost per kilogram might be around $200 a kilogram, compared to about $1,500 or $2,000 a kilogram today, and $50,000 a kilogram under the NASA shuttle program. It's a huge moment to capture a lot of activity. So 5 to 7 years, what are we looking at? We want our orbital biolab module that Aurelia Institute is building in partnership with a university consortium to basically protect open science in orbit. We think we're going to be ready to attach to one of those commercial space destinations in 2030, 2031, so 4 to 5 years. For AI data centers, one of the profound benefits, even though it has a lot of technical challenges, is you would get that carbon footprint off of the Earth from all the heat generation from the electronics. And then you also get the benefit of raw, unfiltered sunlight energy because you're above the atmosphere, right? So you're getting really good free energy. I think that those two factors, and the idea that we now have Starship and New Glenn coming online, you're going to see a lot more investment of capital into this domain of building big space structures. And we're super excited to support that at Rendezvous Robotics as well.
So let me ask a skeptical question, which is, the thing about space, outside of satellites, which are really more about what they provide
to
for
Earth,
us at
GPS,
Earth, right?
weather, yeah, exactly.
But if you look at space travel, it has largely been, kind of the gee whiz, oh my gosh, we can do it.
Yes.
Rather than stuff that has actually benefited human beings that much. Is it something that we are going to see major, is this a new inflection point, or am I misinformed?
So what's really been the stymieing factor for the last 50 years of space, to your point, was the domain of military, defense, and government, exorbitantly expensive. We're about to be able to scale up things like artificial retinas in orbit for the benefit of life on Earth, Keytruda, drugs like, cancer life-saving drugs from space. We can now do it at a much bigger scale for humanity because this drop in cost to actually access the space environment. The final example that is always in the back of my mind is the image that was taken of Earth on Apollo 8 in 1968 on Christmas Eve,
Famous
Earthrise.
image, yeah.
Stuart Brand put it on the cover of the Whole Earth catalog, and that helped to launch the environmental movement in the United States in the 70s. So there's both a pragmatic, we can get real science insights out of the International Space Station, out of the next wave of space stations. Now it's cheap enough to do that at scale, better than we have done. But there's also a philosophical benefit, I think, for humanity of expanding our concentric circles of awareness as a species and coming to really appreciate Earth as the best home we will ever have, even as we explore further out. And so I think the space program has already shown that they can really do that. They can really move hearts and minds about appreciating this beautiful blue marble planet that we are living on.
All right. On that note of optimism, Ariel, pleasure to have you on.
Thank you so much.
Man, that's exactly what we've been talking about,
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's, doing lab work in space with our robots. And, and so I don't know, maybe we need to kind of look at a similar model. Look at what she's doing. She has a nonprofit dealing with universities. We've got TARRL. It's going to be dealing with universities. That's the whole point of having TARRL, because TARRL's going to be dealing with universities, with NASA, et cetera, and then we've got Flow Labs with the businesses, and she has her robotics company that's kind of, like the business behind it. A lot of similarities. I think, it's
Webb
something.
Space Telescope has been moving in silence and nobody's talking about it. We've all been distracted with the Artemis mission and the James Webb Space Telescope. Meanwhile, the Hubble Space Telescope, which was designed to last 15 years, is now on its 36th year, which means it probably doesn't have that much time left. Well, NASA built a new telescope. This is the Nancy Grace Roman Telescope. It's going to be more similar to Hubble than JWST, except it's going to hold a field of view 200 times greater than Hubble, which means a single image from Roman is going to have equivalent detail to 200 images from Hubble. This incredible mosaic image of the Andromeda Galaxy from Hubble Space Telescope took it 400 photos and 3 years to make. The same area of sky would take the Roman telescope 2 images and 3 hours. They think in its 5-year mission, it's going to see 100,000 exoplanets, hundreds of millions of galaxies, and billions of stars. And having so much space photographed will help us map the universe and hopefully figure out why the expansion of the universe is speeding up. So what dark energy is, and this is supposed to launch as early as September. And this is named after Nancy Grace Roman, who got her PhD in astronomy in 1949 when women weren't really doing that. And then she became NASA's chief of astronomy. And in that position, she's the one that pushed for the Hubble Space Telescope, which changed everything we knew about the universe. So it's only right that its successor be named after her. NASA's been moving in silence and
Yeah.
So pretty pretty amazing, like clips and stuff. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, it's definitely really exciting, and it's just a lot that's going on right now. Yeah.
Yeah, those satellites, the Nancy Grace and those telescopes. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's going to be certainly like writings on the wall. There's going to be a big, say, a lot of opportunities in the space sector. We need to kind of keep pursuing. I think we're on a good track working on the stuff that we're working on right now. I was thinking we do need to come up and work on the Natura Reserve website and start pushing that forward, and then also the Space Summit website, even as a placeholder, to have something so we can, even if we don't have like a timing for a Space Summit, but have the structure there and some stuff, and with Natura Reserve, we've got a lot of content because we've got Jose and his solution that we have, and we have all of his content that we can kind of put there. I also have a Let me see, where is that? That was a YouTube. Story Musgrave. Story Musgrave. Yeah, this was another thing. Yeah, and maybe Rebecca, maybe we can start. Granad, do you have a lot of that information that Jose had provided us?
I think I do have to do a little bit of digging, but it should be there.
Okay, well, if you can get all that, and then if you can send it to Rebecca, we want to try and include all of that stuff on our website, have a section for his solution. And and then we'll kind of, I'll try to do some research because I want to just have like part of it, just have like a list of museums, like a map or something around the world where just space museums or space things. And I'm try to kind of have a more like a media, a publication, but there is a video that I want to add. I don't know, maybe even I was thinking to the online space summit as a previous production. So this is a previous production that I did. This is the space summit with Story Musgrave that I did. Look at that, it was 15 years ago. But I've got a few different videos. This was the one that kind of the team made. You got a video production team.
Times than any other human. Attend the Space Tourism and Travel Summit on March 17th, 2011 in Sofia. Have you ever thought about experiencing space travel? Now, you have the opportunity to experience space through the eyes of the astronaut who's been to space more times than any other human. Attend the Space Tourism and Travel Summit on March 17th, 2011 in Sofia, Bulgaria, and learn about the solutions that are being launched into the space travel market and how you can reserve your ticket to space. Presenting Story Musgrave and other experts in the space travel sector. Story Musgrave was born in 1935 on a dairy farm in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. He was riding combines at 5, driving trucks and tractors at 10, and repairing them by 13. He was also a NASA astronaut for over 30 years. He was a mission specialist on the Space Shuttles Challenger, Discovery, and Atlantis, the payload commander on Endeavour, and a mission specialist on Columbia. Story has spent a total of over 1,281 hours in space and has flown on 6 space flights. He is also the only astronaut to have flown on all 5 space shuttles. Story has 7 graduate degrees in maths, computers, chemistry, medicine, physiology, literature, and psychology. He has also been awarded 20 honorary doctorates.
Seen a snake out there 6, 7, 8 feet long. It is rubbery because it has internal waves in it, and it follows you for a rather long period of time. The more you fly in space, the more you see an incredible amount of things out there, and that sort of brings to you really a certainty that other living creatures are out there. Some incredibly primitive, more primitive. Some just proteins coming together, amino acids, and some just singular cellular organisms. And other civilizations have been around for a million years that are doing unimaginable kinds of things.
You know, with trillions of planets out there that could support life, if there is interstellar travel going on, they wouldn't come here. We're not ready. No, we're not ready to meet them, and we would not welcome them. It would be a national security issue as opposed to a communications issue.
You can hear stories, experiences about extraterrestrials and UFOs during the Space Tourism and Travel Summit on March 17th, 2011. Today, Story operates a palm farm in Orlando, Florida, a production company in Sydney, and a sculpture company in Burbank, California. He is also a landscape architect, a concept artist with Walt Disney Imagineering, an innovator with Applied Minds Incorporated, and a professor of design at the Art Center College of Design in Pasadena, California. You must not miss this unique event. Find out more about space tourism and experience it through the eyes of Story Musgrave. I'm in a position to see nature from another point of view, to be outside the Earth and see the big picture, he says. Story will share what the big picture is on March 17th during the Space Tourism and Travel Summit, organized by ecommerceacademy.net. Story, along with other experts in the space tourism business, will discuss interesting topics such as the next frontier, space tourism, travel agencies selling space travel, sex in space and off-Earth reproduction, and the two-suit, NASA's plans for long-term missions and lunar settlements with goals to explore and colonize space, zero-gravity flights, suborbital space flights, Virgin Galactic and founder Richard Branson, Blue Origin, and Bigelow Next Generation Commercial Space Station. Story Musgrave will discover Sofia, Bulgaria on March 17th, 2011 at this once-in-a-lifetime inspirational event. Register at ecommerceacademy.net and make your plans to attend today. Seizing is limited.
Yeah, so anyway, that was from a long time ago, but yeah, so that space interest kind of continues from back then. But yeah, I organized that conference and Dory came he was kind of a keynote speaker. But yeah, what did you all think of that?
I think it's cool. And I have no other words to describe that.
Were you familiar with Story Musgrave?
No, actually, I was not familiar with that.
Yeah. Rebecca, what do you think? What were your thoughts about that?
That was interesting.
You what?
It's very interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, a lot of those things are still relevant as far as like, I mean, because I was thinking like doing a space travel agency, because I had an online travel agency back then, then I organized that conference. And so, yeah, so now space travel agency kind of continues 15 years later. But yeah, we did kind of sex in space. We got a lot of PR, a lot of interest from we're doing when he was in Sofia. We were going around to all the different TV shows and news and doing interviews. And got a lot of buzz about it. But yeah, so anyway, I think what I'd like to do is somehow within Space Ventures Institute, Cosmos Intelligence, Tour Reserve, or the Space Summit, or onlinespacesummit.com or whatever that it is, and kind of have a link to it, kind of showing like the history, kind of, it can't hurt. It can only add like credibility. And if it can add a little credibility and, that I had organized this 15 years ago and it was a space summit and was Story Musgrave, then, by all means, we should promote it. And, so I think, yeah, so if you kind of think about how we can incorporate that into the website somehow, like, our previous projects, it could be a link, for example, and then it could go have that as a previous project. So, I saw Story go to space 3 times, 2 night launches and a day launch out of Cape Canaveral. And I saw one landing at Edwards Air Force Base when we landed once. But yeah, so, and I met with Story last summer. He had some memory issues, cognition issues. And yeah, he didn't remember coming to Sofia. And we were having dinner and he's like, I was actually in LA last year and he was like, John, I have to tell you, I have some issues with remembering, and yeah, I can't remember coming to Sofia. Okay. He didn't remember me before, but and then I went out to Florida, met with him there, and he didn't remember having dinner with me in LA. And that was like a month later. But anyway, think about that. And yeah, I'd like to kind of start trying to, so at least again, we're not in a rush, but we want to have some content there and start moving forward on the websites, because we want to really push the space team and start recruiting for different things and try to grow it. I think right now there's it's a huge opportunity for us. So, okay, well, yeah, and again, Pranad, if on Sunday, I mean, if you have like the updated presentation, you have something that's a little bit different, if you made some advances, like even showing some of these video clips,
Yeah, I can do that. Make
that
it
might be
more.
relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, that's why even showing these video clips, maybe that's look, man, that's they're not on the space, like thinking about this stuff. And some of them, will kind of get them excited about things. So I think that's really what we want to, every Sunday, just really try to get people excited about the Space Buddy. And just kind of make updates because that's where it's going to have to reside. I mean, it's between this team, that team's going to have to kind of move it forward. And Indra, I'm glad she kind of took that initiative and put all that stuff together, and she seems to be excited about it. So I think we can build some momentum here. And then as we, get these websites and get the LLC and start to do some promotion and start to build the team and hopefully start generating some revenue at some point, because that's what it's about. Got to make some money. So, so think about, what the MVP is, right? We got ambitions to do this amazing aggregate all this data from NASA and ESA and all this, Nancy Grace and WJS and but what's the first thing out of the door that we can charge $3 a month for, and and then start to kind of build on that over time. So that TRD, and the roadmap. So that's really what we need to figure out is what is that short term, what are we going to launch and what it's going to look like and what are those minimum features that we need to have, to have, a sellable product. And I think that's really focus on that and, and we'll, move things forward slowly but surely. So, okay, anything else that we want to cover? I think it was a good meeting and making a lot of progress. We just need to keep things going in the right direction.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Okay, Rebecca, anything from you? You want to add?
No.
No. Okay, all right, well, thank you. And we'll, just, work on that, on the websites, on the Natura Reserve and aggregate that stuff. And we'll just keep meeting every week and look at those two new sites and all of the sites related to this team to make sure that, we prioritize that.
Mhm.
All right, thank you.
Sounds
Have a
good.
great day. Bye, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Rebecca.